This is your life at every level of a nicotine addiction. Level 1, the resistant. You see people gathered in hallways, puffing little clouds like it is normal, and you judge them silently. When someone blows vape smoke near your face, you react like they just attacked your entire bloodline. Outside, on benches, at school, after class, somebody is always offering, and you always say no. You feel powerful for refusing, like you are the only person here with a working brain. You watch friends disappear into bathroom corners and locker hallways, and you tell yourself it looks pathetic. Someone tries to convince you it is harmless, but all you see is a smoke machine with consequences. They hold it out again, and you give them the same look every time. Absolutely not. In your head, you are untouchable. You are disciplined. You are different from everybody else. The more people around you do it, the more annoying it becomes. You refuse at the park, at hangouts, after school, and during those random, boring afternoons. And honestly, it starts to feel like part of your personality. You and the other resistant friend exchange looks whenever the vapes come out. You cough dramatically when someone rips one nearby, just to make your point. Someone offers again. You wave it away before they even finish the question. You think this is how the story ends. You stay clean, they stay addicted. Simple. But the problem is, nicotine does not need you to want it yet. It only needs to keep showing up over and over until your answer gets weaker. You are still saying no, but now the no takes half a second longer. You keep the confident face because nobody can know you are getting curious. You still hate the clouds, but part of you starts wondering why everyone keeps coming back. Another offer, another refusal, but now you actually look at the thing before pushing it away. You tell yourself curiosity is not the same as wanting it. Level 2, the first timer. You are at a party, surrounded by music, lights, and people who look way too comfortable. Someone puts a vape in your hand like it is a microphone you never asked for. You stare at it, pretending you are calm, while your brain starts filing a lawsuit. Then you take the first hit, and immediately your body rejects the entire concept. Your face gets hot, your eyes water, and everyone laughs like this is a sacred tradition. You stand there with a red Solo cup, wondering why the room suddenly feels louder. Someone offers again, because apparently public humiliation was only round 1. You look at the vape like it personally betrayed you. The second hit is not smoother. It just confirms that your lungs were not consulted. People are laughing, but you are trying to breathe through the embarrassment. You drift through the party feeling like everyone can tell you are new. Then another person hands it to you, and for some reason you do not say no fast enough. You bring it to your mouth carefully, like it might explode. You cough again, harder this time, and your soul briefly leaves your body. Everyone loses it. You are officially entertainment. Under the lights, holding your cup, you promise yourself that was a one-time thing. But 5 minutes later, another vape appears in front of you. Level 3, the casual. This is the level where lies start sounding reasonable. Nights out, boring walks, maybe when someone offers. You do not own one, which feels like a very important legal distinction. On late walks, people offer cigarettes and vapes, and you negotiate with yourself. You take small hits in corners, still trying to look like the type of person who does not care. When someone offers at night, you joke about it first, then take it anyway. You start hitting other people's vapes with the confidence of a part-time employee. You learn flavors. Suddenly, blue raspberry and mint are words with emotional weight. Someone offers again, and now the hesitation is mostly for show. You cough less, which makes you think you are improving at something you should not practice. You start asking what flavor it is before you even realize what you are doing. At counters, parties, and cars, you become weirdly aware of who has one. Now, when you see a lineup of flavors, your brain gets a little too interested. A cigarette offer still feels sketchy, but not sketchy enough to walk away. You see one left on a counter and think about it like it is treasure. You start comparing flavors like you are doing scientific research. Every offer becomes a tiny test, and you keep passing the wrong way. You still say you do not need it. You just happen to accept it constantly. Even at home, you borrow one more hit before returning it like nothing happened. Then you learn the worst phrase in the nicotine dictionary: just get your own. Level 4, the owner. You walk into the store like you are buying gum, except your heart is racing. At the counter, you try to sound casual while spending real money on your new problem. You unwrap it carefully, like this is a gadget instead of a warning sign. The first night with your own vape feels private, guilty, and weirdly exciting. It sits beside you while you watch TV, close enough to become automatic. Then you get sick and still hit it, which should tell you everything. Back at the shop, the options multiply and so do the excuses. You check your wallet after buying another one and pretend the math is fine. Outside, you take a hit immediately because waiting 10 minutes now feels heroic. At home, you hold it with your keys like it belongs in the same category. It becomes part of the room. Phone, remote, wallet, vape. You cough in the morning and blame anything except the obvious suspect. In stores, you scan the shelves like you are choosing a personality. You start buying backups because apparently one addiction deserves an emergency fund. Outside the shop, you check the flavor before even leaving the sidewalk. Alone in your room, the hits become background noise. TV is on, life is quiet, and your hand keeps reaching without asking you. Sunlight comes in, you cough again, and still take another hit. Back at the display, you pretend you are browsing when you already know what you want. At checkout, you feel embarrassed, then pay anyway. You sit outside with the bag, telling yourself this is the last one for a while. You look at your phone and keys and realize the vape has joined the essentials. You can relax only when it is within reach. You wake up congested and dry-mouthed, then immediately reach for the reason why. The store becomes familiar. Too familiar. You hand over cash like it is just another errand. Outside, you open the package before you even make it home. Standing alone, you check your phone, then check your pocket, then check your vape. On the couch, it lives beside you like a pet that charges rent. Another sick morning, another hit, another excuse. You return to the shop because quitting is tomorrow's problem. The cashier knows your order now, which is both convenient and deeply humiliating. You sit outside with another purchase, trying not to think about how often this happens. You hold your keys, wallet, phone, and vape like a survival kit. At home, the remote is farther away than the vape. You cough into tissues and keep pretending this is normal. You stare at the wall of products like one of them is going to fix the last one. You pay again, and the shame lasts exactly until the first hit. Outside the store, you unwrap it with the focus of a surgeon. Back home, you stand there holding everything you said you would never need. The vape is no longer something you own. It is something that owns a corner of your day. You even start thinking about when the next hit will be. Like scheduling a meeting. Level 5, the addict. This is where the fun officially leaves the room. The alarm goes off and your first move is not checking the time. Your room has become a museum of dead vapes, lost chargers, bottles, wrappers, and bad decisions. When you cannot find it, panic shows up immediately. You drive angry because every red light is now between you and relief. You sit in a movie theater, not watching the movie, thinking about the vape in your pocket. Stares feel dramatic when your lungs start filing complaints. You look in the mirror and hit it anyway, like eye contact does not count. Bedtime is not bedtime anymore. It is just another place to vape sideways. Around you is evidence, but your brain only sees supplies. You search the car like you lost a passport. Driving becomes a nicotine negotiation with traffic, cup holders, and your own patience. At the movies, you hold popcorn but think about sneaking a hit. You get winded walking upstairs and act confused like this mystery needs detectives. In the mirror, you see the tired face, take a hit, and avoid the lesson. You reach for it from bed before your feet touch the floor. Dead vapes gather around you like little plastic gravestones. When it is missing, your brain goes full emergency broadcast. You drive with the intensity of someone racing toward oxygen, even though oxygen is the thing you ruined. Every staircase feels personal. You brush your teeth, then immediately undo the whole operation. You tell yourself one hit before sleep, then wake up and repeat the same lie. You sit among the collection and realize this is not casual anymore. When you imagine losing it, your body reacts before anything even happens. You leave the car in a panic because you think it vanished. In the theater, every quiet scene feels like a punishment. You stop on the stairs, sweating, and blame being out of shape. The mirror is basically a witness now. You wake up exhausted, hit it, and call that getting through the morning. The pile keeps growing, and so does the feeling that you are not in charge. You rush around looking for it, even when nothing important is actually happening. The car becomes a vape chamber with seatbelts. You sit through the movie angry at the rules of society. You pause on the stairs again, trying to breathe like a normal person. Level 6, the prisoner. This is where nicotine stops being a habit and becomes a search party. Your room is destroyed because you are hunting for something smaller than a candy bar. You check under the bed like it might be hiding from you on purpose. In one day, you search your backpack, your pockets, the laundry, the bathroom, and the floor. When you find it, the relief is embarrassing. You sneak hits in places you used to think were ridiculous. You hit it near food, near sinks, near doors, anywhere nobody is looking. You see yourself in the mirror and look older than you should. Then comes the shame part, sitting alone after the panic fades. You start thinking about quitting, but even the thought makes you uncomfortable. The vape sits in your hand like a leash. Your room becomes a crime scene of searching, hiding, losing, and finding. You check under furniture with a flashlight because this is your life now. The same routine repeats. Panic, search, swear, find it, promise to change. And then you smile when it is back in your hand because the relief wins again. You sneak hits through doors and hallways like you are doing international espionage. At meals, you wait for the second you can leave and take a hit. In the bathroom mirror, you start seeing the cost on your face. Alone on a bench, you realize nicotine has made ordinary boredom feel impossible. You remember when people laughed at the party, and now the joke feels different. You stare at the vape, knowing it is not giving you pleasure anymore. You search the blankets again because your day cannot continue without it. You check the floor, under the bed, the same spots, again and again. The pattern is obvious from the outside, but inside it feels like survival. Every time you find it, you swear this proves you can control it. You hid it in school hallways, not because you are having fun, but because calm now has a price. You hide by chairs, tables, and corners. Taking tiny hits like that makes it invisible. The mirror shows the tired eyes, the dry skin, and the person you kept saying you would not become. You sit with it in your lap, thinking about quitting while still holding the reason you cannot. You remember the parties, the laughs, the first cough, and how small it all seemed back then. The room is messy again, and the search starts before you can even think. You check under the bed one more time, because maybe this time it is there. Backpack, laundry, bathroom, couch. The addiction has turned your day into a checklist. When you find it, you smile like you solved a problem, not created one. In the hallway, you sneak another hit and feel nothing except normal. Alone on a chair, you finally feel the silence underneath the habit. You think back to every level, from judging it, to trying it, to needing it. You look at the device in your hand and realize the scariest part is how ordinary it feels. Your room shows the whole story: comfort, panic, excuses, and the mess left behind. You crawl around looking again, and this time the embarrassment hits harder than the craving. The montage repeats in your head: panic, anger, coughing, hiding, bargaining, searching. Then you find it, smile, and for 1 second, everything feels okay. But the door is still open, the smoke is still there, and the problem is still following you. Because the final level is not when nicotine destroys your life overnight. It is when it quietly becomes part of every single day. If you made it all the way to the end, you're officially at the final level. Subscribe for the next journey, leave your ideas in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.